San Antonio, Texas, a city situated near the Mexican border, is famous for its lively cultural diversity and the smooth integration of various traditions. Its closeness to the border gives many Mexicans a comforting, familiar sensation of home. The name San Antonio is derived from Spanish, Mexico's primary language, and means Saint Anthony, a name that feels perfectly appropriate for the city. Among its prominent landmarks is Trinity University's College of Arts and Sciences, notably the Murchison Tower. Reaching 166 feet in height, it was once the tallest building in San Antonio. One day, a young man arrived on the university campus. He made his way to a women's dormitory on the second floor, located a particular room, and violently forced entry by breaking the door handle, unleashing disorder within. Overpowered by rage, he hurled clothing in every direction, shattered pieces of furniture, and shredded books and notebooks on the desk. His fury had spiraled completely out of control. When campus security finally responded to the disturbance, he was found seated on the bed, sobbing, gripping a spilled soda can. The young man was arrested and taken to the police station. The total damage to the room and university property amounted to $1,650. The arrested individual was 22-year-old Mark Howerton. He had been recently devastated by the loss of his cherished girlfriend Kaye. Coping with his emotions proved overwhelming for him. Upon stepping into her room, a flood of feelings consumed him. Throughout the arrest, he remained deeply distraught, repeatedly crying out Kaye's name. 4 months leading up to this incident, Mark Howerton had faced charges connected to the death of his girlfriend, Trinity University cheerleader Kaye Mandadi. The case is surrounded by speculation, lingering uncertainties, and abundant details from authorities. But let's return to the beginning. Kaylee Anita Mandadi was born on August 26, 1998, in Webster to Talak Mandadi and Allison Steele. The family enjoyed comfortable financial circumstances. Allison worked as a scientist, while Tal held the position of International Executive Director at MGM Resorts. After her parents' divorce, Allison remarried Lawrence Budland, a NASA engineer based in Houston, when Kaye was 9 years old. Even after the split, Kaye preserved a strong relationship with her father, maintaining regular contact. Her stepfather cherished her greatly and served as a second father figure. Kaylee was a devoted and thankful daughter and granddaughter, as well as an exceptional student, teammate, sister, and friend whose bright laughter and gentle spirit could illuminate any space. In school, Kaye performed brilliantly academically and took part enthusiastically in a wide range of extracurricular activities. She enjoyed horseback riding, played the piano, and participated in theater productions. She was a Girl Scout, loved jogging through her Clear Lake neighborhood with friends, and hiked alongside her parents. In 2016, she graduated with honors from Clear Creek High School in League City, Texas. She held a deep affection for animals and joyfully volunteered with a group known as Animal Therapy. Kaye was always open to new, undiscovered experiences, aspired to try extreme sports, and continually pursued exciting adventures. At 19, the slender, dark-haired Kaye was a sophomore at Trinity University in San Antonio, majoring in communications. She was popular among her peers, surrounded by friends, and acted as captain of the football team's cheerleading squad. Her lively attractiveness drew numerous admirers. During one football game while cheering for Trinity, she met 22-year-old Mark Howerton. Mark, a tall, skilled athlete and professional baseball player, did not immediately stand out to Kaye, as she was infatuated with someone named Jet and showed little interest in others. Yet Mark was instantly captivated by her large dark eyes and the special charm that set her apart from the other cheerleaders. Their initial 2 encounters were awkward and unproductive, but Mark continued his pursuit. By September 2017, they officially began dating. From the outset, friends and observers saw them as an ill-matched pair, both intensely emotional and prone to quick anger. Their relationship featured a lack of compromise right away, along with frequent explosive arguments and clashes. The young, passionate couple was frequently overtaken by jealousy and repeated conflicts. Friends who observed their interactions noticed Kaye often bore bruises on her arms and legs. One close friend recalled a terrifying moment when Kaye asked her to retrieve her phone from Mark because she was too scared to confront him herself. The situation grew worse, with Mark turning aggressive at times, even displaying a gun and issuing violent threats. Kaye acknowledged Mark's jealousy and unpredictable temper but frequently urged her friends not to disclose details of their intense fights, admitting she shared some responsibility. Nevertheless, around 1 a.m. on September 24, 2017, Kaye's roommates could no longer overlook the situation and contacted the police. They had heard loud disturbances from Kaye's room and a man shouting violent threats. When the officer arrived, Mark was alone in the room. Kaye declined to press charges, insisting nothing serious had taken place and describing it as merely a lover's quarrel. However, her friends suspected Mark was using controlled substances, which fueled his uncontrollable outbursts. On one occasion, he reportedly threatened to throw Kaye off a balcony, an incident her friends reported to police. Their relationship resembled the ocean, stormy and turbulent at times, yet calm and affectionate during peaceful intervals. On October 29, Mark and Kaye attended the Mala Luna Music Festival in San Antonio. This major event, one of the largest of its kind, showcases gothic, modern industrial, and dark wave music, attracting more than 10,000 people each year. Mala Luna draws both avid partygoers and those seeking to blend into the crowd anonymously. That evening, Mark and Kaye partied with friends late into the night. But the unexpected appearance of Kaye's ex once again triggered Mark's breaking point. They engaged in a heated argument and left the festival early, the final time friends saw them that night. Approximately 6 hours later, deep into the night, Mark's black Mercedes pulled up at a hospital. He dashed out, frantically signaling and calling for help. Medical staff discovered a nearly naked young woman in the front seat, unconscious. The car interior was in chaos, with Kaye's clothes strewn about, and she was slumped forward like a broken doll. Kaye was promptly transferred to a stretcher and rushed to the emergency room. Mark informed hospital staff that they had consumed illegal substances prior to the festival. This information assisted doctors in treating her for a potential overdose. She was subsequently moved to another facility in Kyle, Texas, where a nurse trained in sexual assault examination found additional bruises on her arms, legs, and ear. Forensic analysis later determined that blunt force trauma to her face and head caused her death, confirming she had suffered a violent assault. Consequently, police initiated an investigation to determine responsibility for Kaye Mandadi's death. Mark emerged as the primary suspect, having been the last person seen with her that night. Although no conclusive evidence directly linked him to the crime, Mark's own conduct raised suspicions. In several police interviews, he repeatedly altered his version of events, drawing investigators' attention. Surveillance footage captured Mark and Kaye at locations he had failed to mention. Furthermore, discussions with Kaye's friends and family revealed a history of aggressive actions from Mark toward her. One of Kaye's sisters even confessed to fearing him. Police uncovered accounts of violent episodes between the couple, such as Mark slamming Kaye's head against a car window and ransacking her dorm room at Trinity University. Learning of these incidents devastated Kaye's parents. Allison Steele, mother of the deceased Trinity University cheerleader, filed a lawsuit against the university, claiming it failed to take necessary steps to protect her daughter from her boyfriend's assaults, the same boyfriend accused of causing her death in a jealous rage. The lawsuit was filed in Behar County District Court on behalf of Allison Steele, naming Mark Howerton, Kaye's ex-boyfriend, as a co-defendant. It alleges that Howerton assaulted the 19-year-old from League City and holds ultimate responsibility for her death. It asserts that Trinity's staff, administration, and campus police were aware of Mark's unstable behavior throughout the relationship. It further claims he had threatened to break Kaye's face or cause serious injury. Nevertheless, in the weeks leading up to her death, the university did nothing to protect Kaye. A Trinity University spokesperson declined to comment on the lawsuit, citing pending legal matters. Trinity University's inaction on repeated reports of harassment, abusive conduct, intimidation, domestic violence, and gender discrimination contributed to the tragic loss of the sophomore. Allison Steele stated that the tragedy might have been prevented if the university had intervened properly. According to the lawsuit, the university disregarded its own guidelines for examining and addressing potential violence and harassment in relationships. After a dorm room incident, Mark received a criminal trespass order barring him from campus for a year, yet he violated it multiple times. Moreover, detectives found numerous reports of Mark's violent actions toward Kaye over their relationship. For instance, one sister remembered Mark threatening to throw Kaye off a balcony amid an argument, while another sister said he threatened to shoot some of Kaye's ex-boyfriend's brothers with a gun. With these statements, police secured an arrest warrant for Mark, after which he turned himself in voluntarily. In February 2018, after the discovery of Kaye's disordered dorm room, Mark Howerton surrendered to authorities. He faced multiple charges, including criminal acts, intimate partner violence, and abduction. Despite the accusations, he entered a not guilty plea. The first trial regarding Kaye Mandadi's death commenced in December 2019. Prosecutors contended that Mark, notorious for his erratic temperament, fatally assaulted Kaye during a rage-driven episode. They also asserted he transported her for nearly 6 hours before eventually seeking medical help. In contrast, Mark's defense team maintained that Kaye's death might stem from various causes. Autopsy findings showed prohibited substances in her system, suggesting the possibility of sudden blood pressure spikes or head trauma during intimate activity. Kaye's mother described her daughter's injuries and bruises as extraordinarily severe, akin to those from falling out of an airplane. The damage was extensive. Photographs presented to jurors in Bexar County showed the Trinity University sophomore from San Antonio almost unrecognizable. Her body was covered in bruises, red marks, and scratches. Only her back and the backs of her legs lacked visible injuries. Images and diagrams from Dr. Susanna Dana, the forensic pathologist who conducted Kaye Mandadi's autopsy, displayed a subdural hematoma, a blood accumulation usually associated with traumatic brain injury, on the right side of Kaye's brain. Kaye's father, Kaye Mandadi, viewing 2 photos of his daughter in the ICU, lying vegetative amid countless tubes with her face scarcely visible, spoke with a shaking voice and tears, "That's my daughter. My only child." Dr. Dana testified that while examining Kaye's head, she found a dent in the skull. Much of Dr. Dana's testimony focused on the grave cranial and facial injuries Kaye suffered. These included trauma to the eyes, both eyelids bruised, the left swollen so much it couldn't fully close. Extensive bruising covered both jaws, inside the mouth above the gums, and on the lips and cheeks. She also pointed out hemorrhages in both eyes, showing court photos of the inner eyelid lining. Dr. Susanna Dana concluded that Kaye Mandadi's death resulted from blunt force trauma to the head and face inflicted by a heavy object. However, Dr. William Anderson, who evaluated the autopsy results, disputed the view that Kaye had been assaulted. He stated, "We don't see any fractures in the eye socket or the nose. There are no fractures on the face, which suggests there was no frontal assault." Instead, Anderson proposed that Kaye's injuries aligned more with a fall combined with extensive medical intervention. Defense attorney John Hunter presented another view, arguing the prosecution lacked sufficient evidence to clearly explain what occurred that night, making it impossible to conclusively tie Mark Howerton to the event. Throughout the trial, Hunter often emphasized Kaye Mandadi's drug use, even noting her prior treatment for substance dependence at a hospital. Jason Wallach, a professor at the University of Sciences in Philadelphia, testified that Kaye Mandadi had a high level of MDMA, known as ecstasy or Molly, in her blood when her boyfriend brought her to the hospital on October 29, 2017. The drug's presence indicated that even a slight head injury could turn fatal due to MDMA's effects. Building on this, John Hunter contended that the drug impacts people variably, with many facing elevated body temperature or electrolyte imbalances after use, potentially leading to unconsciousness. As the trial continued, the jury heard testimonies, including a video and audio recording of Mark Howerton speaking with police. In the recording, Mark admitted he and Kaye argued, then had intimate relations in the car before she passed out. He described their sexual encounter as rough and said he would strangle her during sex because she liked it. Mark maintained everything was consensual, but uncertainty persisted about the source and timing of the bruises on Kaye's body, an issue unresolved in the December 2019 trial. Allison was certain Mark Howerton would face consequences for her daughter's death. Yet after the 2019 trial, the family felt deeply disappointed. Despite charges for causing Kaye's death, Mark proclaimed his innocence. The defense claimed the injuries on Kaye actually resulted from hospital resuscitation efforts. As a result, the jury could not reach a unanimous decision, leading to a mistrial. The case was heard in the 144th District Court under Judge Raymond Angelini. When the jury deadlocked, the case was declared a mistrial and dismissed. Consequently, Mark Howerton was acquitted in this initial trial, leaving the issue unsettled. Bihar County District Attorney Joe Gonzalez, overseeing the case from the beginning, voiced his disappointment with the outcome and said the case would be reviewed further. Meanwhile, Kaye Mandadi's parents launched their own inquiry. Allison and Lawrence collected all accessible evidence and autopsy reports from police, zeroing in on a small, round pinpoint bruise near Kaylee's ear. They hypothesized Mark might have struck her head against the car window, causing her to hit the door lock and create the bruise. This detail, they believed, could prove his guilt. To grasp the possible scenario, Lawrence located a Mercedes matching the one Mark drove that night. He took photos posing in positions simulating how Kaye might have received the head injury. With assistance from the Texas Rangers, they obtained official records, including 3 sworn affidavits used for Mark Howerton's arrest warrant. The charges included criminal acts, aggravated intimate assault, and criminal mischief. These documents clarified many lingering questions about Kaylee's case and offered a precise timeline of events before and after her death. The slideshow assembled by authorities outlined critical moments chronologically, following the path to Kaye's death and emphasizing evidence from the investigation. Notably, the timeline exposed Mark Howerton's alleged dishonesty to the Rangers and the proof leading to his arrest. Prosecutors portrayed him in court as a manipulative, controlling boyfriend who constantly monitored Kaye, calling her obsessively and taking her phone to cut her off from friends. 2 weeks before Kaylee's death, texts shown to the jury revealed that after Mark shoved Kaye against a brick wall in a violent rage and wrecked her dorm room, Kaye told him she needed space. Howerton flooded her with dozens of messages, at one point threatening suicide, prompting her to beg him not to go through with it. That evening alone, he called her almost 200 times. Later at the festival, tensions escalated again over Kaylee's ex-boyfriend, who was also there. After the argument, Mark Howerton removed Kaye from the event, put her in his car, and drove to a secluded parking lot near the Whataburger headquarters, close to US 281 and Sunset Road. GPS and camera data showed the couple stayed in that parking lot for over an hour. Prosecutors alleged that during this period, Mark Howerton assaulted Kaye Mandadi, ultimately beating her to death. Kaye's family voiced profound thanks to the Texas Rangers for their diligent and dedicated investigation, which resulted in appropriate criminal charges against the alleged perpetrator. Mark Howerton's retrial started in June 2023 after delays from the COVID-19 pandemic. During proceedings, the prosecution initially planned to show a video recorded by Kaylee's parents depicting her hospital injuries but later withdrew it to prevent possible legal issues and new conflicts. With vital evidence compiled alongside the Texas Rangers, Mark Howerton was ultimately convicted of aggravated assault causing bodily injury that led to Kaye Mandadi's death. The court sentenced him to 20 years in prison, imposed a $10,000 fine, and ordered restitution to Kaye's family. He was also barred from contacting over 20 people linked to the case. Now in his 30s, Mark is serving his sentence at Willacy County Jail and becomes eligible for parole in 2033. Though the conviction provided some closure to Kaye's family, they felt the sentence was inadequate given their profound loss. In this second trial, Howerton faced broader charges, including aggravated assault causing serious bodily injury and criminally negligent homicide. Beyond the manslaughter charge from the first trial, the prosecution sharpened their legal strategy to construct a stronger case. Despite the verdict, both Kaylee's family and prosecutors expressed dissatisfaction and sought additional legal steps, calling for yet another retrial. Kaye Mandadi's tragic story highlights the devastating effects of violence on a young life brimming with potential and the unyielding quest for justice by her grieving family. This intricate case received thorough coverage in the article The Final Hours of Kaye Mandadi, reported by 48 Hours correspondent Peter Van Sant. Kaylee's ordeal stands as a stark reminder of the destructive consequences of abuse on young people. Despite the conviction, Kaylee's family stated that the outcome did not deliver true justice for their beloved daughter. In 2019, Allison Steele, Kaylee's mother, successfully pushed for improvements to the missing persons alert system in Texas. She founded Kaylee's Calling, a nonprofit aimed at standardizing missing persons alert systems to enhance public safety and awareness. She also initiated a campaign to promote the Clear Alert System, an emergency broadcast alert in Texas for missing individuals aged 18 to 64. In 2021, she filed a civil lawsuit against Trinity University, alleging negligence in failing to protect Kaylee. Steele argued that the university did not notify Kaylee's guardians about Mark Howerton's violent behavior, including the dorm room trashing incident, nor did it take sufficient measures to stop him from having continued access to her daughter, leaving Kaylee exposed to manipulation and harm. It is unclear whether the evidence gathered by Allison and Lawrence was formally presented during Mark Howerton's 2023 trial. While Howerton was acquitted of the charge of causing Kaye Mandadi's death, he was convicted of aggravated assault resulting in bodily injury. Prosecutors noted that the family felt some satisfaction with the verdict after years of suffering. They experienced relief that the legal process had finally ended, allowing them to start the difficult journey toward healing. The loss of a child brings indescribable pain, and Kaye Mandadi's parents endured an especially heartbreaking and challenging path. Allison Steele shared that they remain deeply shattered by Kaylee's passing and request that those with faith keep their family, friends, and the pursuit of justice in their thoughts and prayers. If you found this case fascinating, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the Hidden Cases Files. We post crime case videos every night. Until next time, stay sharp, stay vigilant.